Hello.
Hello. Welcome to part 5 of the Ice Monster. It's just me and one child tonight because the youngest child is
asleep.
Hopefully asleep. Let's keep our fingers crossed, shall we? Anyway, chapter 14 we're at. We've gone quite quick, and it's dead as dead can be. Shush! Came the voice behind her. Don't give yourself away. Elsie knew that voice. It was the only adult voice she ever remembered speaking to her with kindness. Dottie's. Elsie turned around and whispered, "Thank goodness it's you." Everyone is looking for you, young miss." "Oh no, I'm not supposed to be here." "You don't say," replied the cleaning lady. "Truth be told, I'm not supposed to be here either. A humble cleaner isn't allowed to be in the same room as Her Queen, the Majesty." "Her Majesty the Queen?" Dottie looked at the girl as if she were bonkers. "That's what I said. But I couldn't resist being here. I love our Queen." Dottie gazed down proudly at the lady. "Oh, that reminds me. I must buy a stamp." 2 stories below, the Queen was looking up at the frozen creature. "Well, well, well. So this is the famous Ice Monster." "Yes, ma'am," replied the director. "It is a huge feat of engineering for the museum to keep the animal's body conserved like this. That pipe you can see hanging down from the ceiling blows cold air into the tank through that hatch to keep the ice as it is packed and frozen." "It's a bit small for a monster." Lancaster was once again blindsided by the lady. "Well, he spluttered. I could only apologise, Your Majesty, but this mammoth is probably only a year or so old. It is a child, really." The Queen looked lost in thought for a moment. "Have you got any bigger ones?" Lancaster looked desperately around at the faces of the assembled, great and good for help, but none came. I'm afraid not, ma'am. Finding any prehistoric creature, let alone one in such perfect condition, is extremely rare. This is the find of the century." My dear departed husband, Prince Albert, would have liked it. Such a shame he isn't here with me to see this. Albert loved animals. I'm more of an opera fan myself. Aren't I, Munchie?" Her elegant companion smiled weakly. "You have a unique singing voice, Your Majesty." His wry answer made the old lady chuckle. "Ha, ha, ha, ha." The chuckle turned into a cough. A concerned Abdul steadied her. "Thank you, Munchie. I don't know what I would do without you." "Nor me without you, Your Majesty." The unlikely pair shared a smile. Then the Queen looked back at the mammoth. "Does it do anything?" she inquired. "I'm so sorry, Majesty. What do you mean?" replied Lancaster. Sweat was now pouring off his brow. "Like a trick?" she asked with girlish excitement. The museum's director paused before he spoke, gathering his thoughts. "Sadly not, Your Majesty. This creature has been dead for 10,000 years. So as dead goes, I would say you can't get much deader. It's as dead can be." "Oh, that is a shame. I suppose it is rather pretty, if you like that sort of thing, which I do." Lancaster shuffled awkwardly. "Do you have any other questions, Majesty?" The Queen thought for a moment. "When are we having tea and cake?" "And I was dragged halfway across London to come here. These days I don't like to leave the palace too much. At my age it all becomes a bit of a bother. But my eyes lit up at the promise of tea and cake, you see. I haven't seen so much of a scone." "I meant any questions about the mammoth, Your Majesty." "The what?" "This creature here." "No," replied the Queen with her customary bluntness. Shame she's dead already, came a deep voice from the shadows of the hall, or I'd have to shoot it. All heads turned to see who had so rudely interrupted the Queen. Chapter 15. Extinction Business. Out of the darkness stepped a figure dressed in a pith helmet, knee-high lace-up boots and a khaki coat. A plume of grey cigar smoke followed it. "Who the blazes is that?" demanded the Queen, struggling to see. "Oh, no," stammered Lancaster. "Who is it?" "Lady Buckshot, the big game hunter, your Majesty," replied Lancaster. "Oh, no," said the Queen. Disapproving murmurs echoed around the hall. "What is she doing here?" pressed the Queen. "Well, ma'am," replied the hunter, "I shot and killed every single stuffed animal in the museum." "Such a shame the animals weren't armed, or they could have fired back," hissed the Queen to Abdul, just loud enough for the Buckshot to hear. "Ha ha!" Abdul couldn't help but laugh. "It is a shame the monster here is already dead," began Buckshot. "It would have been my great pleasure to have shot it right between the eyes." "Well, Lady Buckshot, spluttered Lancaster. "The mammoth has, as a species, has long since been extinct." "I'm in the extinction business," replied the hunter. "I would wipe out every last creature on earth if I could." "How delightful for you," said the Queen sarcastically. "Now, where is my tea and cake?" Lancaster leapt in. "Tea and cakes will now be served in the gallery, if you would follow me." The Queen took Abdul's arm and she shuffled out of the hall. The Great and the Good all followed, which left Buckshot alone with the mammoth. From the top of the stairs, Elsie and Dotty watched as she marched right up to the front of the tank. There she mimed taking out a shotgun, loading it and firing it. Boom! She even provided the sound effect before miming the mammoth's brains splurging out. "Ah, ha, ha, ha!" she chuckled to herself before drifting back into the shadows. "I am trembling," chattered Elsie, holding on to the balcony rail. The evil stench of Buckshot's cigar smoke had snaked all the way up there. "Me too. Evil woman. She's always dragging some poor tiger or lion in she's shot with a wicked grin on her face." "So now she's gone, do we dare?" asked the girl. "Dare what?" replied the cleaning lady. "Do we dare go down and take a closer look?" Dotty shook her head. "Oh, Elsie, you'll get me into deep doo-doo." "Let's just have a very, very, very quick look." When the girl put it that way, it was hard to say no. "A very quick look?" asked Dotty. "A glance, really." "A glimpse?" "Less than a glimpse. A peep. A peek." "Exactly," replied Elsie. Dotty sighed heavily. "All right then, let's go and have a peek at this mammoth." "I think it's mammoth," corrected Elsie. "Yes, mammoth. That's what I said." Elsie smiled and pulled the lady along by her sleeve. "Dotty, come on." Right. That's the end of chapter 15. And the end of part
6.
Yeah, I think it's that as well. Anyway, we'll do another one soon. Speak to you soon. Okay, bye, bye, bye.
Bye.